And this morning, volunteers will be back on the ground in the Canton area after another round of storms canceled Wednesday's workday. Live this morning, our Luckie joins us from the Zandt County Fairgrounds. Lane, yesterday's event wasn't a total washout, so what can we expect today?
You're right, Erica. It wasn't a washout at all. Even though the weather canceled plans for the cleanup process to begin, droves of people still came out here to the Zandt County Fairgrounds and dropped off supplies, food, water, cleaning supplies. All of that will be put to good use in just a couple of hours. At 8 a.m., registration for the volunteers starts right behind me, and then they'll be dispatched out to some of the hardest hit areas of the county to help those folks in need. Now, across town this morning, like you just mentioned, there's a multi-agency resource center that's also opening this morning, and that's going to help those families start the recovery process. The Red Cross is still on the ground here helping plenty of people. In fact, they've been assisting with shelters. This morning over at the First United Methodist Church across town, there's a family of 8 that will be waking up there. Apparently they had been camping out in a tent in their front yard, and they just needed somewhere to go to get out of this cooler temperatures. Back here at the fairgrounds, maybe if you can see behind me, there's people moving around in these kitchens. They're firing up the grills and getting ready to feed as many as 1,700 people. On Tuesday, that's how many people they fed. Yesterday, because of the weather, they still fed about 500 people, but they expect so many more to show up today and be out in this cooler weather, which could be a godsend for a lot of people after a long day in the sun. Nature's air conditioning sounds just fine to some of the people here that I've talked to so far this morning. And that's the latest on those recovery efforts, soon to get underway here at the Zandt County Fairgrounds. Erica, back to you.
Some award-winning barbecue, a nice treat for those volunteers. Thank you so much, Lane.
Recovery efforts in East Texas. Families impacted by the storms will have some extra help today.
Yeah, another round of storms canceled Wednesday's work. Volunteers will be back on the ground in the Canton area today. Raycom News Network's Lane Luckie joins us from the Zandt County Fairgrounds with the latest. Lane, good morning.
Good morning to you, Shane and Adria. Yeah, even though yesterday a second round of strong storms called off those recovery efforts, that didn't stop a steady flow of donations from streaming in. Throughout the day, people dropped off food, water, and cleaning supplies. And in just about an hour and a half, it'll all get put to good use. Volunteers will start showing up here to the Zandt County Fairgrounds to register, to start helping those victims of the tornadoes on Saturday. They'll, once they're registered, be dispatched to areas around Canton that are in the most need of a set of helping hands. And across town this morning at the Civic Center, there's actually a multi-agency resource center that's set up to help families start in the recovery process. And in shelters, the Red Cross will still be helping out people at least through the end of today, maybe longer. So back here at the fairgrounds, volunteers are already firing up the pits behind me with this catering company. They've actually been dispatched before to other emergencies like the Van tornado here a year ago and in Rowlett, as well as the flooding in New Braunfels. And that forecast that Ron was talking about, it is going to be great today for families and the volunteers here. The temperatures are in the 50s in Zandt County and sunny skies, so some nature's air conditioning could be a godsend for all those volunteers. Reporting in Zandt County, Texas, Lane Luckie, KSLA News 12.